The following program is rated PG. Parental guidance is advised, as the theme or content may not be suitable for all children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi friends, this is Wendy. I am at the Naramata Inn in Naramata. I'm here with Elizabeth, the sommelier in this beautiful place. And we're just gonna take a look at some of their menu items, and we'll meet Chef Emily. She'll be coming from that direction. That's why I keep looking over there. It's like, oh, what's she doing? And we've got Renee with us behind the camera where you can't see her, but we'll be chatting with her as we invite you into Naramata Inn to enjoy exploring and poking and tasting.
Very excited.
Yeah, poke some stuff. So Elizabeth, tell me what brought you to this point in your life where you get to work here.
Well, I feel very lucky to work here, first of all.
That's amazing.
My husband and I had dinner on the terrace one night, and it was the most romantic, beautiful evening with delicious food, and I just really wanted to be a part of it. So it was a long journey to get here, but I really loved that the wine list also had international wine and local, so there was a really beautiful mix, especially for local people.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of stood out to me as something different and exciting. Then looking at the team that worked here, there was a long list of people that I wanted to meet and learn off of as well. And it brought me, this is my third season now, and I couldn't be happier. So it has been a beautiful journey, and I've learned a ton. And this room in general, the backdrop here, to be in the dining room brings me back every single day.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a more beautiful and really balanced. Wes Anderson would love this room,
Yes.
wouldn't he? Like
Yeah,
everything, the
100%.
colors, deeply saturated colors, and lots of light, and everything is symmetric.
100, yeah, you can just draw a straight line down the middle.
I know, this
literally.
is a gorgeous place. And you have more than this one room for dining and for just lounging. Like, tell me what goes on here as far as the food and beverage program.
Yeah, I find for such a small inn, we have 12 rooms, our food and beverage program is quite robust. So the dining room is definitely the heart of the building. It is that elegant, fine dining atmosphere, but we bring in that local charm as well, which is awesome, because it's inviting, and you want to be in this place no matter who you are or where you come from. And so we really like to showcase our local producers, which we will do in each course that we taste today. Both with wine and with food, which is great because you build those relationships in your community. And I honestly, this is the first job that I can say that I know every single one, and we've built such a good team that it just feels like family and holistic, all kind of coming together. So
that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So to showcase this, the dining room is my favorite part, and then the wine bar downstairs is the fun part, especially for wine and food. So that's kind of like like a blank canvas we get to use to showcase new and exciting things, specifically with wine. So upstairs, we really showcase local wineries throughout the entire Okanagan and the Sommelier Valley. And then we have a little international section if you want to go further abroad, and that kind of just shows the typicity of the grape origin. So Pinot Noir from the Burgundy area,
how it's so different everywhere.
Yes, very much so.
Same clone,
yeah.
way different.
Yeah, 100%. And it also allows locals to go further afield than their backyard. Sometimes you get to travel in your own town, which is quite nice too.
Oh, yes.
And then downstairs, it's about a 50-50 split. And so we work with, we've got local importers as well, which is really fun to work with. We're really lucky to be in such a wine-heavy area in so many ways.
Oh, very much. And the Naramata bench has just exploded.
100%.
Is it its own region now?
It is its own sub-GI, which is awesome. I find the biggest, most interesting thing is the heart of Naramata is, I feel like, the heart of the Okanagan in this like warm and inviting way. They're all small boutique wineries. The owners are usually pouring. You can probably chat with the winemaker.
I know,
and
it's amazing.
Unbelievable. The enthusiasm and the passion behind it, they'll bring you into the vineyard and on every single winery that you go to. It's unbelievable how welcoming and family everyone is here.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's an amazing community.
Absolutely.
I was driving in with Renee this morning. I'm like, I could live here. I'd like to buy a house here. But I don't know if there's any for sale. I would think once you got one here, you're not.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of have to get on the wait list as things go, but.
Maybe I'll just move into one of your rooms. So you have 12 rooms.
We do.
That's very cool.
It's an old Spanish colonial style, so the rooms are quaint, and we really are focusing on this place to be an unplugged, calming release from your everyday life.
Oh my gosh, how much we need that.
Right? Like there's...
just those words.
Yeah, bring a book.
Have
a glass of wine upstairs on the terrace there, which is private to the 12 rooms as well. Certain areas you get a beautiful look at the lake. You can walk down to the beach. It is a sense of calm that money can't buy. It is just this whole area in Naramata is small, and quiet.
Great.
And you have to get here. It's a destination.
Yeah.
And so it makes it even that much more special. And we appreciate everyone that takes that trek, which is great.
There's something in the travel too, where you're slowly disconnecting from the things that stress you out.
Absolutely.
And you get here and it's like, oh God. I'm in a peaceful place.
Yeah, it's almost like you think, when was the last time I took that really deep breath? And that's your whole stay here, which is pretty special.
Yeah, I've been following you guys on Instagram for, probably about a year and a half, just like looking in your rooms. It's like, this would be like an ideal place to come for anniversary or something like that. Really like a special occasion, get away from busy Kelowna. People come to Kelowna to relax, but you don't know until you come to Naramata. It's a whole different gear.
100% next level for sure.
Yes. Kelowna has its fun stuff. Right. I think Kelowna for fun, Naramata for chill.
Yes. 100%. You can even see in the dynamic of the food scene and the wine scene there. It's a little more hustle and bustle. I wouldn't say it's like a Vancouver City vibe, but it definitely has its culture of fun by the lake. They call them Kelownafornians for a reason.
For sure.
And there's definitely that vibe. Where here it's just way more of an escape.
Yeah. And I've never felt in Naramata like I really should get plastic surgery.
Yes.
There's a welcome of, hey, look, you're old. Come on.
Just like a true authenticity.
A real welcome.
Yeah.
And not, we're going to get bounced at the door.
I totally understand.
You've been to Kelowna.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So when you aren't here, what are you up to?
I moved actually here from Jasper about 7 years ago.
Oh, you picked hideous places to live.
Yeah, it's just been a hard life in general. But I really wanted to keep my lifestyle that I had there here. And so that's what my husband and I were looking for specifically was we're big skiers.
Oh, okay.
So there's an unbelievable amount of ski options
Yes.
close by, which is pretty unbelievable. I really like to trail run.
Okay.
So my best friend is running from Kelowna to Naramata next weekend with the Wild Horse Traverse. So that's pretty exciting. And hiking. And I think Naramata is the hub of that. You can go right on to there's like a rail trail that is unbelievable. You go through trellises and caves and there's just, it's an exciting kind of beautiful, natural, welcoming vibe here. And so I find you could go each way, north and south, and there's kilometers and kilometers of trail that you can explore. So those are things that I really look for in my lifestyle.
And how did you get into sommeliering?
Okay.
Sure, that's a word.
Well, I'd like to say it started very close to birth in a way. My parents and my father specifically, I know, being he's first generation Canadian, his family was born in Croatia. And so that is like I find European culture in general with wine specifically is, it's quite normalized.
Yes.
And
it's part of food and not part of party.
Exactly. And I think that's what really drew that to me is it brings everyone to the table, and it really brought my family to the table every Sunday without fail.
Yeah.
And so there's something definitely special about it. Wine Spectator was our coffee table magazine. My dad liked wine so much. So I've been in the hospitality industry pretty much my whole life since I was 16. Working at Hernder Estate Wines in the St. Catharines region. So I'm from the Niagara region. And then making sure I loved it so much, I tried a bunch of different other things, but it always brought me back to the dining room. And there's an elegance and a kind of that communication conversation with guests that you don't get anywhere else that I've ever found. So
a bit of theater.
Yeah, that too.
Art.
There's like exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Venn diagram of all those in the dining room.
It just all comes together.
Yeah.
I never feel better at a job than being on the floor in the dining room.
Isn't it just such a fun thing when you introduce a guest to something they haven't tried before?
Yes.
Maybe they're nervous of trying it, but they go with your recommendation and then they love it.
And they're wowed, like genuinely wowed.
I've loved that experience every time. It's like, oh, you do love this.
Yeah.
Oh, you would.
I always think that with Chardonnay, because people are like, I'll never drink Chardonnay. It's just not my thing.
Do you have any?
We don't today, but I can always open another one.
Okay. We have a lot.
Me too.
And I see Emily is standing in the precipice.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, well, tell me what you've got.
So our first course, we're going to do a tartare. So we've got a bit of meat from Two Rivers Supplier. We have our house-made black garlic aioli, some pickled mustard seeds, and we've preserved some jalapenos from last summer from Clippers Organic Farm. We got a little bit of cured egg yolk on top and some toasted brioche.
Wow, it's beautiful.
So enjoy with your first pairing.
Thank you so
Emily.
much.
All right, and what are we pairing with this?
Okay, so we are pairing the tartare. I find a very classic pairing is with bubbles. I also just love starting with bubbles in general.
Fancy.
We're celebrating today.
Yes.
So we're starting with Bella wines.
Okay, let's listen for the hiss.
Ooh.
Oh, the explode hiss.
Yeah, we got the bubbles rising. So a really beautiful part about this winery is it's just up the way. So Jay and Wendy Drysdale, we get to see all the time. So again, building that support and just that relationship with our suppliers is so important. And they are 100% a sparkling house.
Yes.
Which is near and dear to my heart. I think sparkling is for every occasion at any time of day. But we are celebrating and starting with the Gamay Noir traditional method sparkling wine.
Such a beautiful color.
So really light skin contact. The really interesting thing, if we want to kind of nerd out early.
Sure do.
So these are two specific Gamay clones.
Okay.
So clones I like to compare it, if you don't know what they are, to like an apple variety. So like a Macintosh and a Pink Lady, and the differences between the two. They're not as creative in the wine world, which is unfortunate, but
just number stuff.
yeah. So here we have clone 509 and 787.
Let's call it Pink Lady.
Yeah, Pink Lady would be perfect.
Yes, it would be.
Absolutely.
Especially for a Gamay.
Yeah, 100%.
How ready are you going to be, really?
So that's kind of the exciting part there. Is you've got earthier tones with the first clone. It's actually the most popular clone grown in BC, and it's from the Beaujolais region. So very special clone. And then the second one is 787, a little more structure there, and from the Rhone area. So classic French areas, creating a beautiful classic sparkling wine. Yeah.
All right.
All right. And then the reason for the pairing. So with tartare, it's a rich dish. It's a creamy dish. A lot of flavors going on. You'll see on the plate, any tartare I've had, there's usually some form of acidity on the plate.
Right.
So what we're looking for here is to at least match that acidity. And then the bubbles kind of cut that creaminess. So you'll get more of the fruit that's going to be in this wine as opposed to the acidity. So that's going to all balance out, and then we're going to kind of smell and taste some beautiful wild strawberry, a hint of melon that comes through too, but it's quite a very elegant start to the dish. And then I'd sip it first for sure before going into the tartare, just to act like a palate cleanser. Okay. So there's many, many rules in the wine world too, which, to be honest, I usually throw out the window because rules shouldn't. There's a bit of pretension with wine that I think scares people away.
Yeah, it narrows the door.
Yeah, definitely. And so every time I sip sparkling, any tasting I've been to, they're like, don't swirl, smell first. As long as you understand what works for you, that's all that really matters in tasting in general. But I usually like to start with
I like
that.
keeping the bubbles in there.
Yes, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And second sip is always better than the first.
Yeah, I feel like you're just learning more and more as
or if
you
you're
taste.
drinking toffee or, God forbid, chewing gum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which most people I find have a few coffees in the day, so there's that lingering flavor there for sure.
That kind of weird, funky bitterness.
100%.
And we're acclimatized to it, so we don't even know.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to dive into the?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Let's learn this dish. It's incredibly complex and very pretty.
Yes. I find Emily has a beautiful touch on plating in general. We have a wonderful pastry chef, Sandeep, who does a great job with all of our breads, croissants.
He makes them in-house?
Everything is made in-house,
Oh my
which is
goodness.
really exciting.
Yeah.
And that allows, we have a continental breakfast that we offer anyone that stays in the rooms, complimentary. And so that makes it even more special.
Right.
Yeah. I just traveled to Europe, and I didn't realize how similar our offering is to the majority of hotels in that area, the places that I went. So I was like, we're really trying to create a very unique experience here in the Okanagan, in BC in general.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So don't expect the muffin from 7-Eleven wrapped in cling wrap. Because they panicked.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing there is you have to be so prepared here because you
Where are
can't
you
go
gonna
anywhere.
That's right. Make it here or you're not getting it.
100%.
All right. Okay, so you start. I don't want to hurt
I know,
the
it's
presentation.
so
It
beautiful.
almost feels bad. And this is the fun part because our faces are mic'd up. So we're going to crunch something and it's going to sound like thunder. So hopefully Renee will be able to pull down our thunderous crunch.
And the plate
Yeah,
scratching?
She says, yeah, plate scratching. Oh, I don't know. Maybe she leaves that in so when I watch it, I'm like, ah.
I also really, this is just a personal preference while I'm eating, is I try to get like every little piece of offering.
You make the perfect bite?
Yes, I really think about that a lot.
Yeah. I have a terrible habit of pulling things apart because I want to see what they did and how they did it and how they arranged it. I should really try the perfect bite first, the way that the chef thought I would.
Yeah, intended to,
Yeah,
yes.
I always think if they're looking through a secret window, they're like, oh no, not again. Stop it. Oh, the microgreen is just not cooperating.
Adding a little crunch to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's what I need in my life.
I also really like that grainy mustard kind of pop in your mouth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a really fun texture. Yeah, so much of food is texture. I mean, you don't really realize it unless you butt into something whose texture doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, that's so true. It's the negative that people notice as opposed to the positive.
The fun things.
Yeah.
I like that there's an art kind of trend that's going around, 100 Days of Wonder, where every day you just search for something that gives you wonder. And it could be like the little pop of the mustard grain.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that like a wonderful thing? If you just slow down to think about it, it's amazing. Like that it holds its integrity and is still one, unified presentation, and it's still tiny little poppies. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really
This is
like
so
to
fun.
think that way.
Yeah, it's a nice way to think. And does this pull our wine in a different direction?
It will. So I find that palate cleansing effect that you had in your mouth, the acidity really hit, so your mouth watered really quickly.
Yes.
And then I find the fruit is going to come a little more forward now with the dish.
It's almost a gooseberryness in there.
I find the earthiness kind of comes out a little too with the mustard. So I also like to kind of throw out the protein. I think of protein with weight, but then all of the extra stuff I think of flavor profile. And so is it going to come through? Is that graininess going to come through?
Jay himself taught me that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I did. I was halfway through Somm training, and I did the wine sales course.
Oh, cool.
There. And he was one of our instructors, and he was saying, don't think about the protein. Think about what's on the protein.
Yeah.
And what's near the protein. Yeah, like sauces and things like that. That's what you want to be pairing to. And I was like, hey, Jay.
Yeah, cheers to him. That
Cheers
is
to Jay.
spot on.
If you're
yeah.
watching, you're awesome.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's the joy of a local show. They could be watching.
They could potentially walk in later.
Yeah.
Anytime.
You misrepresented me.
Okay.
Let's see. We can just lever this down. Hi. Look at this. We're on a food train.
Yes. All right, we got course 2 here. So we've got some local organic beets from Local Motive, and we make our own ricotta cheese that we've got on there.
Of course you do.
And
Oh my gosh.
the little things, they're fun. And then we've got some crispy quinoa on top for a little bit of crunch, and the micro herbs on top are grown by Carla at Plot Twist for us.
Wow.
And they are marigold, so they're a little bit citrusy.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Oh, I'm so curious.
Beautiful.
See, I want to pull it all apart, but I know I should be making the perfect bite and not just shredding it to bits. Would you
It's
like me to
beautiful. Yes, so with this
ship
one,
these to you?
all right.
Okay. Okay, what have we got going on?
So with the beets, we're showcasing the Terra Vista Fandango, which is really exciting. So this is a blend of Albarino and Verdejo that they grow on their estate. So it's their estate vineyard, which is super exciting. There.
Thank you, thank you.
So with the beets, we've got some that really light, fluffy, with a hint of cream. The ricotta is kind of, I find, the showcase of this dish. It's very light and elegant. And then to balance that, we've got the weight of the beets with a touch of sweetness. And then kind of everything in between. So with this one, it's fresh and inviting in many ways. And so the kind of citrus, lighter white wine is what we're looking for with this one. So it's quite an original wine too. They were one of the first to plant Spanish varietals on the bench and in the Okanagan. So older vines as well. So they were planted in about 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, so the older the vine, the less grapes are produced and the more concentration of flavor goes into those grapes. So there's a higher concentration of flavor.
And you've got amazing root development.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Drinking in all the goodness. Oh, wow, wow, wow.
And Aaron, their winemaker, is really focusing on that low intervention, sustainable farming, which is a huge focus of our wine list as well. Is rewarding those practices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the future, and it's a risk right now in the pivot time.
Yes, big time.
Moving from high intervention, especially the soil, needs a chance to be itself again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rest and relax.
Yeah. Come to Naramata Inn and rest and relax.
Yes.
See boxes of soil lining up.
So even the nose, you get like a lot of that lemon and pear. The minerality really comes through too, which is really
That's what I was
beautiful.
thinking.
Yeah. Which I really, I had a phase. I go through phases of wine, and last spring, so around this time, I was going through this kind of phase.
Okay.
High minerality, maybe a bit of lees aging here and there, but I was in a bit of a couldn't get out of that area.
Yeah, I've been on a hunt for petrol-y Rieslings in the Okanagan.
Oh, very
There's
nice.
a few that are just like beautiful.
Yeah, even heading into a couple come to mind in the Similkameen too, as you go kind of into that warmer, drier climate, which is nice.
Yeah, the strange tasting notes are so fascinating.
Yes, yeah. People that haven't experienced something like that too, I like to introduce them because they almost look at you like a little kid. They're like, is this supposed to taste like this? I'm like, yeah, like that's like a really interesting tertiary note that comes through.
And we want it.
Yeah, I
Unless
swear.
you don't.
Yeah. And again, that's personal preference. I do find
100%.
trending specifically now are people are drinking younger wine and a bit more fruit forward wine. And
more than 5 years ago?
I would say even like 5 to 10 maybe, but I do find that is the trend. I don't know if it's the pace of life and no one wants to lay things down, but also palates change, like
Oh, that's true. Yes.
sweetness to dryness and back and forth. That's been happening for thousands of years. So
Yeah. I worked at the VQA for a little bit as a panelist, and we were seeing more of the sweeter wines, not sweet, but off dry.
okay.
And for a while it's dry, it's bone dry, everything is dry. And then there was some producers were presenting just a tiny bit of residual sweetness in there.
Yeah.
It's like, because I know eons ago it was a sweet wine that was the best wine.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's just change in popularity.
Yeah, I do find even it's like a social pressure with diets and sugar's kind of this bad thing.
Right.
But a lot of blind tastings that I do, majority of people do lean towards that hint of residual sugar in wine. Yeah. It kind of balances, especially with whites. If the acidity is kind of too there and too much, it just really kind of smooths that out and makes it even more beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, should we dive into the?
Yeah, I guess I'm just really hanging out.
Yeah,
this time.
I know, it's so
Spend
beautiful.
some time with you.
Yeah, they do a wonderful job. And again, just right down the road, which is
so nice.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right in the heart of all this great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Next,
Thank you.
knife as well.
I don't know. I feel like I could get
We
into trouble
could.
if I have too many things going on.
Okay.
But how small are these pieces? There's
They
also
should be
trouble.
Yeah, they should be bite-sized. Like I feel like attention to detail-wise, they should be made so that you don't need a knife.
Okay, good luck, compadre.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be like full of food in my mouth.
Because you're gonna make your perfect bite.
Yeah, you gotta have
A little
the
bit of ricotta.
quinoa, and the crunch is really important. And then you gotta get a beet in there as well, and then a bit of the green, and then I just kind of dip in that oil as well.
Yeah, I feel like this one is ready for me because it's got a lot of stuff. It doesn't have these. And then, okay. Stop
it. I find for me that it's very subtle crunch with the quinoa makes the dish.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's unexpected, and the beets are so elevated that they're still earthy. They've got a hint of sweetness, but it's not just
Over
beet.
it. Yeah. Yeah, I do find there are, especially because we are so seasonal in the Okanagan, and almost across the board there's so many beautiful farm to table restaurants that beets are quite a popular item, and so seeing every different chef's rendition
Yes.
is really neat. And just even watching how ricotta is made from scratch, I have learned a lot. So it's a pretty cool plate to showcase what the Naramata can do with beets, which is really neat.
I feel like I'd love to hang out in your kitchen and just stare at everybody for a week. I'd be the gargoyle in the corner.
Yeah, just what's this? I
Yeah,
find
what you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing it that way?
Well, actually the neat part, what we've kind of started really interesting programming is we, in the off season, offer that on Monday and Tuesdays, where you can go hands-on and make sourdough from scratch, or
okay.
you can do, we're showcasing cooking classes and cookie baking
amazing.
classes, and I think for Cinco de Mayo we're doing a cocktail class, which is super fun.
Nice.
And it has really kind of created this lively, playful event that
amazing.
has grown quite well in the past few months.
Yeah. I was reading an article, I think in the Walrus, it was saying that playfulness is the key to creativity. That if you lose the playfulness, you just bottom out on being able to think creatively.
100%.
Yeah. And this is a very playful dish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be the awful person that takes apart bits because I want to know what this tastes like by itself. So don't look or don't tell Emily.
I'm going to experience that with you.
Oh, I've taken you down my path. Hey, this is cool.
Because it does have that kind of citrus component.
But this, like you can smell a marigoldness. Oh, hey, how do you do with this?
Yeah. It's that wow.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Even that small amount, this is a very strongly little flavored. A bit of petal.
Yeah. Very that attention to detail, just those little accents.
Yeah.
I think go a long way in a dish, and I think our chef does very, very well.
Goodbye.
All right, this one over here.
Okay. Wow. Your timing is so good.
Thank you.
Okay, what's
So
going
our
on?
third course, we've got a steelhead salmon. It is on a bed of a rye risotto. I've got a little bit of delicata squash and mushrooms from our tom at locomotive, and some microgreens again on top for the fish course.
Wow. Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, look at this.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send these down to you.
With this one, we are pairing this with the Amulet Rosé. So this is a blend of Grenache and Syrah,
Okay.
which is a little more interesting of a rosé in the valley, which I thought I'd introduce you to if you
Okay.
haven't already.
Please do.
So Dwight Sick is the winemaker. A little more this time. And he has been in the valley and has been helping in the vineyard and in wineries all over the Okanagan
Okay.
since I've known him, and way before that as well. I find he's quite talented, and I think Grenache is kind of an interesting little mix to go into that. So I'll give you one of those.
And where's this located?
So the vineyards are grown or planted in Naramata, and then you can taste his wine at Roche.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so he doesn't have his own tasting room. This is his private label, which is also pretty special. There's a handful of winemakers that do that in the area, and for how I see it,
Yeah.
it's like an artist and a self-portrait. So this showcases who Dwight Sick is as a person and a winemaker, all kind of put together, which is really, really neat.
Okay, so how would you describe this one as opposed to the flavor profiles and the tasting notes of the sparkling?
I find, so as I kind of switch this around, you can kind of be a little more rough with it, so the aromatics really come through quite quickly.
Well, it's got a lot of body.
Yes, so Grenache and Syrah being thicker skin grapes, there's still only a very small amount of skin contact that makes the texture and color. But you get a lot of that red fruit, but also that earthiness. I find there's more delicate fruit, like that field strawberry,
Right.
where
Yes.
this is more of like a riper flavor in a way, but kind of really bringing that earthiness as well, which is kind of cool.
It's pretty complicated.
Yeah. So he does a red blend, a single varietal Syrah, and a white Rhone style blend as well.
Nice.
And I think they're all made with intention. And I also want to kind of describe those kind of words that can kind of fly off your tongue that might not mean anything, but they're the flavor components. I find when tasting and smelling these, I can pinpoint a lot quicker than some other wines. So maybe that concentration is there as well, specifically on the nose to start, if that makes any sense. And then on the palate, the acidity it definitely hits home there, and that texture is what I'm looking for.
Phenomenal.
It kind of just swims in your mouth, coating it elegantly, which lingers long enough but doesn't overpower all at the same time.
It's poetic.
Which I like. Now I'm like thinking, as I really kind of think about it, that's what I really like most in wine in general, is kind of more of that deep thought. I joke that if you want to become like a really good sommelier, you have to start with like your kid at 5. And I know that sounds wrong,
Smelling.
but smelling. I have a little smelling kit. I have a lot of
so you
nieces
smell
and
all the
nephews,
things.
and they're the best at pinpointing those smells. And I'm like, if they just honed in on that craft and continued it without forgetting about it, you'd be an expert no matter what.
I think so. Yeah. There's kind of on the finish, sort of a grapefruit pith.
Yeah, that
In there.
that cut, absolutely.
Sort of like a minor chord.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, this is all major chords, and then at the end it's like,
I like that because we've brought in the artist, the musician, and the winemaker all
well,
together.
Wine is very complicated.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
All right.
But
so
with that
let's-
complexity,
we have a complex dish.
yes. So
But
we
this
add.
can keep up,
Yes, absolutely.
which is key, isn't it? Like a simple dish and a more simple wine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that you want to think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then, and kind of just to start, so it's like a good, well, I love pouring at the table and talking like this to guests.
Right.
Because then they go in with a different mindset into the bowl as well,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the experience. That's
It's a much more mindful
yes,
experience.
yeah. As opposed to when you're hungry, I have days where I'm like, I don't think I had a meal sitting down. Or this is such a mindful place that way.
Right, and you're not just like wolfing back protein bars.
Yeah, exactly.
And moving on.
Yeah.
All right, so how are you going to start with this? And I don't know, Renee, have you been able to get a good shot inside the bowl?
No.
I'll try tipping it and see if it doesn't all go places. Yeah?
Better.
Okay. Because you're missing something if you don't see this.
So this is quite an earthy dish as well. We've got the mushroom and the squash, and then the risotto as well. So we're I'd like to get all three. I also absolutely love the skin. I know some people don't
me
at
too.
all, but that adds that kind of salty texture, which is really nice. So I'd grab a piece of that.
I feel almost like there could be a bit of salinity in
Yes,
this wine.
yeah.
And maybe
Kind of complementing, going
the
together.
fishiness will say
Absolutely.
hello to the water.
I might just do that.
Okay. She's building her perfect bite.
Yes.
And there's a lot of bits in here. You don't want to leave anybody out. What if you just put in the elements one at a time and stash them like a chipmunk?
Then combine them all?
Yeah, and then sort of like, conk, conk.
It's neat too, like that's another playful part is having a mushroom and then having a sip of wine and how does that change the wine?
yeah.
And
Because it's going to.
absolutely.
Yeah, I just tried a mushroom alone. Whew, got really breezy. It kind of, I felt like the texture loosened up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
after- I think because the, whatever she did to the mushrooms, they're very velvety. And so in comparison, this is like,
That
yeah,
kind of
it's really
balance.
fresh, balance. It balances that. Like the mushroom is a big,
The meaty-
solid, medium.
Yeah.
See, I'm doing it all wrong, but I'm
But
having
it's
fun.
right. That's the whole thing is
Yeah,
that's the rules shouldn't really
No
apply.
rules.
Yeah, it's the rules for you. That's
I
what
like that.
matters.
This is my mindfulness practice. Can't judge that. I could, but shouldn't. Okay, I haven't tried the risotto.
Yeah, the salmon, just that the crispy edge too.
Oh yeah. So I'm trying to get a corner piece.
Do you cook a lot at home?
Yeah, I love it. It's like therapy. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I can help there.
I need assistance.
Oh, you got it.
Call 911. Food emergency. Okay.
Yeah, I find that was at the very beginning of kind of when I started to take wine seriously. It just started in the kitchen at home, and it made dinner so much fun. And that's kind of the best part about doing what we do.
Oh yeah.
Is kind of it's a sharing activity all
Yeah.
the time. Which
Yeah. Community, mindfulness, like this is mental health.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Come here, unplug.
Yeah.
Yep. So calling all the stressed executives in Calgary.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Corporate retreats.
Yeah, you'd be a dumbhead if you didn't come here.
We got yoga instructors, Pilates instructors.
Have you had goat yoga yet?
We have not.
Have you
but
tried
our
it?
general manager absolutely loves goats, so
Oh.
that is a dream that will come to fruition one day for sure. There's
Goat
also
yoga for everyone.
nothing like the most calming experience I've ever had in the Okanagan is paddle boarding early in the morning on the lake by the beach here.
Yes.
Is
Ooh, I haven't paddleboarded. I kayak.
oh, very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, very early, just as the sun's coming up and the steam's coming
Yes.
off the lake, and the big noisy boats aren't out.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So nobody's going to swamp you.
Yeah, it doesn't. It almost doesn't feel like real life.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like you're just paddling through a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the Okanagan's pretty nice. You go on the lake in the morning. Oh wow, here comes more.
Okay, next course for you guys. So we've got some Two Rivers short ribs, a little bit of celeriac puree on there, some local veggies, what's in season right now, so some cauliflower and a little bit of green curly kale.
Beautiful.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Okay, we're bringing out the big guns for this one.
Hey, why don't you talk a little bit about the glasses?
Yes. So this is, again, another kind of fun part. And depending on who you talk to, important part as well. Actually, this is getting more technical into kind of about the wine. So with the bigger, we're going into a Bordeaux style blend here from Van Weston. And so with this one, we really want to open it up. And by open it up, I mean kind of have it in contact as much with that oxygen as you can, just to basically it activates the chemical compounds of the aromatics that come through, the flavor that comes through. It kind of calms kind of balances out the alcohol and tannin and everything in between. So I do find it benefits from a good decant for sure.
How long would you have it decanted?
So again, with a Bordeaux style blend, I would first have it, if it's an older red, I'd bring it out about an hour before and have it sit so that the sediment settles to the bottom.
Right.
And then I would say you could even just decant right after. An hour before really helps. It's a huge debate in the wine world. I've had Barolo tastings where they were decanted at 9 a.m. to taste at 7 p.m.
Wow, that's long.
I've had Master of Wine podcasts I've listened to where they're like, decanting's completely overrated and everything in between. So again, that's one of those things where there's rules, but it's up to your personal preference.
Oh yeah, and if your palate likes kind of a bit of a jumpy tannin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
You're gonna like
open it up, you pour it, and it'll be delicious. So that's kind of something interesting. So what this glass does in general is opens it up. So this allows, I'll hand that over to you.
Okay, thank you.
As you swirl it around the glass, it just really allows it to breathe and expand and open up. If you're intimidated by doing that, it's also like a lot easier to just put it on a table.
Yeah, I used to tell people, like, pretend this is a pencil and that you're writing little circles.
Oh, that's good.
And then you can just get a little faster and bigger circles until you've got a circle tornado.
Yeah, and then it's good to go. It'll smell beautiful and taste wonderful.
Oh, wow. Whew. I could smell that with my eyeballs.
Yeah, it hits the face for sure. Yeah, so Van Weston, so Rob the winemaker was the very first to plant all 5 Bordeaux varietals on the bench. Bold move, but turned out to be quite successful. And he makes some beautiful wine. So Merlot dominant, but with Cab, Sap, and Franc behind it.
West, that would be East Bank.
Yeah.
Right side.
Right bank?
Right bank.
Bordeaux? Yes.
Yeah.
Merlot? Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Trying to remember. I used to have maps of Europe all over my hallway, and I would sit and just look at them. Like, oh, I should go.
Yeah, that makes it fun too, is you get to travel
Yeah. So
anytime you're drinking wine in general. But yeah, so this is the big one. So you get a lot, you get a lot of aromatics. You get a lot of, on the palate, you're going to get a lot of tannin. We've got a very rich dish as well. So yes, we've got a beef short rib So that is the protein that we want the weight to balance. But we also have that jus, we've got charring, we've got a lot of different components that this is going to cut and complement in a way. It's almost the exact opposite of two things, but it'll do both in a way, which is quite nice. But going into the red too, I wanted to bring up temperature. Because I think temperature is critical, especially in a service atmosphere. Honestly, even at home, you'll enjoy it more. But having a little bit of a cooler red wine, as opposed to the 7-degree household countertop that most people drink their wine at, allows a little more of that fruit to come forward, and it calms the alcohol down, which is usually something that is a lot better to taste while you're tasting food.
I think when the room temperature rule was made, our rooms weren't this temperature.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Like if you're in an old stone building in Europe, it's not going to be 72 degrees.
Yeah, that is. I've never thought about
67, 65.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because it always feels kind of like I'm in a cellar, even if you weren't in a cellar.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually funny. I grew up in Ontario. In the first part of the house was built in 1812, and so that area of the house was cellar temperature for sure. It was heated by fireplaces, and that was it. So it was like. That makes sense. I've never put that together.
And that was in Niagara, St. Catharines?
It was in between St. Catharines and Jordan Village.
Yeah, I know that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, it was a really neat
sister-in-law
operating.
lives out there right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to go see her in a couple of weeks.
Oh, exciting. Tasting wine, I'm assuming?
Well, I don't think she does, but my brother-in-law does.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he'll come along.
I'm sure you can find someone.
Oh, I can always find someone.
All right.
I'll just leave this up here because it's pretty and it's easy to find.
This one, you might need a knife.
I think I will. Yeah.
Okay.
How about?
There we go.
Okay, you start.
Right.
I hate being the one that messes it up.
Okay.
I want you to be the one
I don't mind.
that destroys.
I'll get in there.
Get this masterpiece and mess it up.
I feel like I should have cut that so you could see it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
Oh, just look at that.
So this is a tricky one to get all components in, I find, because
yeah. Well, good luck.
I know. I know. I definitely want the jus, and I might do a cauliflower.
Okay. I'm gonna try. Stacking.
Individual?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna try your.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my building area. So I've got my meat. A little bit of kale. Come on over. If I talk to it nicely, it'll just come.
Almost Jack itself.
Puree, sure. And what am I missing? Cauli. Somebody local has cauliflower already? That's crazy. Where are they growing it in?
Yeah.
How are you doing this? Yeah. Okay, here's my perfect bite. Do you see it, Renee? How great is that? You're just placating me. That's a good choice. Wow. Emily's a genius.
So a lot of textures.
Yes.
Lots going on with the dish. I
kidding.
like there's crunch, there's fattiness, the salt, like all of it together is just like a warm blanket.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah, that's the comforting dish.
And it does pull the wine in a very pretty way.
And it in a
Yeah.
very different direction than
Yeah.
when you first kind of
Yeah,
smell
yeah.
it too.
And the black cherries and blackberries all kind
Hmm.
of come to you. Mm. So where'd you find Emily?
Emily,
'Cause this is a national treasure. You've got-
I know. She is so wonderful and
We're talking
wonderful to
about
work
you and
with.
can't hear it
Yeah. Yeah. Our desks are side by side, and it makes work even better. It's the cherry on top of the
That's
sundae.
amazing.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to have someone with so much knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and she humors me a lot with a lot of the things. I don't know how to cook at all, so she always has answers, and she always comes at them in such a positive way that
Oh, nice.
I leave lifted a lot of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't feel like, oh, wow, I'm so dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And like hospitality, there's ups and downs and lefts and rights, and
Yes.
we're in it together, and that is
Yeah.
the most important part. And
When you've got a good team.
100%. Yeah.
I think it ends up being an experience for the guests too. Like,
Yes.
if there's tension in the team, you can feel it.
100%. Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, everybody's mad at each other.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Because I see her standing there.
I know. I'm like, oh, our time is.
Okey-dokey, our last course, dessert. So we've got a vanilla creme brulee with a little almond cookie.
Oh, how cute.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I like the flourish. It's the new bend and snap.
Yeah. She gets this part too, like when she's online, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, she also loves the admin side, which is rare to
Whoa.
find that mix.
Yeah.
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 So
that
it's-
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
unicorn. Food making unicorn.
All right, last but not least.
Okay. People are nervous about pairing a wine with a sweet dessert. What
Yes.
tips do we have?
Well, to start, I feel like this is my wheelhouse. My dad absolutely loves to finish off with a port
Okay.
his whole life, and then expand into ice wine and late harvest, and he definitely has a sweet tooth. So that kind of really helped me not judge sweet wine and dessert
Yeah.
wine to start, and
Good, yeah.
which is
Open mind.
yes, you always have to keep an open mind there. But the custard of creme brulee in general is very delicate, so we were going with a very delicate,
Okay.
late harvest. It's called cane cut Riesling.
Cane cut Riesling.
Yes, which is different than late harvest. It's
Okay, I don't know this.
Okay,
Teach me.
so late harvest,
Yep.
you let the grape hang on the vine a little longer than you would with a white wine grape.
Right. So it's getting sweeter,
Exactly.
more reduced.
Yes.
More wrinkly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sticky in a way. I actually helped with the Optima harvest once at Quails Gate, and it's quite hard to do. You're very sugary at the end of it. This one, instead, the cane will be cut early, as opposed to so it'll halt that ripening to have a little bit more acidity and a little more elegance. So really soft on the palate, and so it won't overwhelm delicate dishes. So if anything, spring dishes, a lot of the fruits on the plate as they come in.
Okay.
This is a really great one. This is also just a really nice sipper in general, just soft and smooth and beautiful. And so this is a Three Sisters Winery, which is also on the bench, and this is as family-run winery as it gets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're a really great team to support, and they're one of the only people I've ever heard of doing this. This is how I learned about cane cut in general.
Okay.
And
so it's not everybody's doing it, and I'm just.
No,
out
not
of
at
the
all.
loop.
This is just, honestly, I learned that this was a thing from them, which is
Oh.
kind of cool too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teach me your knowledge. extremely delicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after that big.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you kind of want like a break. I find people should be dining a little longer too.
Yeah.
Just to kind of digest a little and then go into your dessert after that. But yeah, that's kind of neat too, is to look at the viscosity of it is a lot lighter than you'd see in an ice wine,
Yeah.
or even a late harvest
they
in
often
general.
look jewel toned.
Yeah.
Oh, there. It's opening because I'm giving it some surface area. That's fantastic.
Yeah, very soft, not overpowering on the sweet side either.
It would be fantastic with the fresh peaches off the tree.
Yeah, because it has that acidity too, so that
And
would,
almost a floral.
yeah, that floral component.
Oh,
But yeah, that orchard fruit I think really comes through there.
yeah,
And it's so Okanagan to me.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the coolest part.
Okay. And
You should start this
I
one.
should start this one?
Yeah.
Renee, could you see the color? Okay, she's got this bruleed really red. Good sign. All right. See. Oh. Should try and mic this.
I know, I can lift this kind of
Okay.
closer to you.
Okay, we're gonna
There we go.
try to, because this is important. You got to hear the crack. Okay, you ready? I made a fissure.
That line.
That line right here, it's like a yin yang brulee. Okay, so. Have you got close on this, Renee? Because it's pretty. She's like, yeah, I got it. Whew, this is gorgeous.
I always wish it came with it like one of these, so you could like eat the top and then I love the top of these. I thought they're so good.
Are you a marshmallow re-roaster? Mm-hmm. Yes.
I am.
And you pull the outside off?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the next one gets a really neat texture. You
It's
notice how
different.
kind of like stippled and has holes in it?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's more red too. It's hard to get the red on the cornstarch coating, I think.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
I make marshmallows.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, like you're
For fun.
You're like you cook.
I cook.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes, yes. I'm seeing that's rounder and bigger now.
Yeah, it definitely it's a significant change with the brulee.
And this little guy is made in-house?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. I think I eat a little too many of these in general. They're just, you walk through and they're just there, and
Makes me think of Ted Lasso and his little pink boxes of cookie offerings.
yeah.
That's really nice. It's not a big sweet. Kind of citrusy.
It's really good in like a cappuccino, like a little dip in a cappuccino too.
Oh yeah. It'd be good with like a Mexican hot chocolate, something.
Ooh.
Yeah, not very sweet, just rich and creamy, chocolatey. Well, well, well. This is very nice.
Super fun.
Wasn't this fun?
Yeah.
Like an
It's
hour
my
of
favorite
talking
thing
about
to do.
food.
I was when you first told me, I was like, "There's no way I'll be able to talk for an hour." But once you get into it, it's your passion. Like it's so, it is the best.
Yeah, yeah, and I can tell you love it, and that would make it really fun to come as a guest and have you talk me through something.
Yeah, anytime, because we have such a good team that equally is as enthusiastic.
Oh, so wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. This
Yeah.
has been a lot of fun. And we're just going to say goodbye.